Hi everyone. Today we'll be talking about azeotrophs. Now, let me put a disclaimer before we actually begin with this. That is, if you do not have some preliminary concepts about vapor liquid equilibrium or you do not know about Raoult's law, then I suggest that you please go through some material, some textbooks where you can read about them, or you can refer to my videos. The links are attached in the description box. You can go through them and then you can start watching this video so that you get a clear understanding of what I am trying to communicate with you. So, let's begin with azeotrophs. Here our objectives are knowing what azeotrophs are, what are the different types, and how do we interpret about them from Raoult's law. Then we'll go through the vapor liquid equilibrium diagrams, that is the TXY, PXY and XY plots for the azeotrophs. So first we will go through the definition. So, an azeotroph is often called a constant boiling point mixture. Constant boiling point mixture is another name for azeotroph. It is a mixture of two or more liquids whose proportions cannot be altered or changed by simple distillation. Now, since our school level knowledge, we know that when we want to separate a mixture into their pure versions, then distillation is the first method that we will refer to. But it often so happens that when we try to separate the mixture of two or more liquids with the help of distillation, sometimes after a certain point distillation is not possible, or maybe we are unable to separate it at all. In that case, we come to the concept of azeotrophs. This happens because for distillation, we know that the vapor and liquid compositions should vary as we start boiling the mixture up. But that does not occur in case of azeotrophs. It remains the same as it was in the case of the original mixture, that is, before the mixture was getting boiled. Now, another way that I like to understand azeotrophs with is that uh, by comparing it with a pure substance. When we talk about water, we say that a pure substance always has a boiling point. Water has a boiling point. But then when we talk about a vapor liquid mixture, from the concept of boiling point diagram, we have always studied that a binary mixture or a mixture of two or more liquids, they have a boiling range. That is, it does not boil all together at once. It will first reach a saturated liquid phase, then it will have a partially vaporized state, then it will go to a saturated vapor state. So this is like the boiling range. The concepts of bubble point and dew point comes from this particular understanding. So if your mixture does not have a boiling range and it has a boiling point, then understand that it is an azeotroph. Okay, and this is how it's easier to understand, it's easier to grasp what azeotrophs are. That is why we will refer to them as constant boiling point mixture. That is, the mixture has a constant boiling point like a pure substance has. Now let's go to the types of azeotrophs. Now, types of azeotrophs, here I have mentioned minimum boiling azeotroph, maximum boiling azeotroph, homogeneous azeotrophs and heterogeneous azeotrophs. So first thing we'll start is minimum boiling azeotroph. Minimum boiling azeotrophs, as of now, let us just understand that they show positive deviation from Raoult's law, and maximum boiling azeotrophs show negative deviation from Raoult's law. We will come to greater details about what this positive deviation and negative deviation are in the next few minutes. So we'll go through this example first. Now you see, when I mentioned the example of minimum boiling azeotrophs, I have mentioned ethanol water mixture, but I have also mentioned the concentration of ethanol over here. What I want to hint over here is that when we are talking about azeotrophs, it's very important that we know the composition at which they become azeotroph. That is, if you take a mixture of ethanol and water and you start separating it, When you reach this particular composition where there is 95.63% of ethanol and rest 4 point something percent of water, the separation stops, because that is where the azeotrope is occurring. Same thing for maximum boiling azeotrope. When we have a nitric acid water mixture and the composition of the mixture goes to 68% nitric acid and the rest of it is water, the separation will be hampered. That is where the azeotropic point is. We will go into more clearer aspects of this in the next few slides. When I show you the vapor liquid equilibrium diagrams, it will be easier for you to understand. As of now, minimum boiling azeotropes show positive deviation and maximum boiling azeotropes show negative deviation from Raoult's law. Next, we come to homogeneous azeotropes and heterogeneous azeotropes. Now, homogeneous azeotropes, they are completely miscible with each other. Homogeneous means they will resemble a single phase. So, if you mix ethanol and water, they are completely miscible with each other in all proportions. When we have heterogeneous azeotrope, they will not be completely miscible. There will be some miscibility gap. That is, there will be some separation into layers. Like if you mix chloroform and water, you shake it and then you keep it for a while, then you will see that two layers have formed in your glass. Now in the upper layer you will see more of water, little bit of chloroform, and in the lower layer you will see that there is more of chloroform and little bit of water. So they have mixed up, but they are not completely miscible. That is what heterogeneous and homogeneous azeotropes are. Now we will go through the interpretation of Raoult's law, and this will clear our understanding of this positive and negative deviations. So as you can see from the graph, the straight line that you see over here, this is the Raoult's law line, and on the y-axis we have the total vapor pressure P of both constituents, and on the x-axis we have the compositions. So when we are talking about negative azeotropes, they show negative deviation from Raoult's law. That means they are the maximum boiling type. What does that mean? When you see the equation of Raoult's law and you find that the vapor pressure of the mixture is actually lesser than what Raoult's law will predict, then there will be a negative deviation. That means the expected result from Raoult's law will be greater than what is actually observed. And when the vapor pressure of the mixture, as I've mentioned, I've emboldened the lines over here, as the vapor pressure of a mixture is greater than expected from Raoult's law, then we have a positive deviation. That is, this particular line will show you the positive deviation from Raoult's law. So that is the interpretation from Raoult's law that you can carry away with you for the understanding of positive and negative deviations. Now we will go into the TXY and PXY plots. They will clear your concepts even better. So, like I said, TXY and PXY plots are very important aspects of vapor liquid equilibrium. And we are going to first study for minimum boiling azeotrope, then for maximum boiling azeotropes. So, minimum boiling azeotropes are also called pressure maximized mixtures or pressure maximized azeotropes. You see, minimum boiling means the temperature graph has a minima over here. This minima point is the azeotropic points. Now this picture is not a very good clarity, I understand. You can go to Wikipedia and have a clearer picture of this. Unfortunately it was not available with me. All the sources of information over here in this slide is from Wikipedia. You can go through any other textbooks also and you will find the same information. So as I said, for the temperature versus xy plot, there is a minima forming, and when we are plotting pressure and the composition, then we are getting a maxima point. So this minima and here this maxima point, they are the points of azeotrophs. Across this point separation is not possible, or across this point separation is not possible. Once we cross this point, separation will be possible again. So the main headache is how do we cross this point, and this point is not crossed using simple distillation. We need other methods for that purpose. Next, in case of maximum boiling azeotrophs, here the picture is a little clearer, I guess. Here you will see that the temperature plot has a maxima, and that is why it is a maximum boiling azeotroph, and the pressure has a minimum. That is why it's called a pressure minimum azeotroph as well. So here are some like the referred examples are mentioned over here: water and formic acid. So you can go through other examples, you'll get similar kinds of plots. The just the composition wise, the nature of the graph may vary, but other than that, for the pressure plot you'll get a minimum, and for the temperature plot you'll get a maximum in case of a negative azeotrope. So this is our takeaway concept from the txy and pxy plots. Now when we do distillation, we know we have come across methods where we have to show the vapor and liquid compositions. So when we have a maximum boiling point, azeotrope, this is the point where the azeotrope is forming. So here separation is possible, and when we reach this point the separation will stop. So our main target should be to cross this point, and then we can achieve further separation. And as we have discussed earlier, this separation is not possible by simple distillation. We need other methods. Same thing for minimum boiling point. So in this region the separation is possible, and as soon as this point is reached, here the separation is not possible. So the again the target remains that we have to cross this point, and then further separation can be achieved. This minimum boiling point and maximum boiling point curve natures depend on the compositions. Like same thing applied for the txy and pxy plots. So from the nature of the graphs, you can understand which one is a maximum boiling point type and which one is a minimum boiling point type azeotrope. And that is what for most exams you will need these concepts for azure jobs. Even for interview, when you are asked about azure jobs, this is like the simplest way you can explain them by comparing them with pure substances. And also, if you want further information, please refer to books, or you can refer to the internet as well. There are multiple other videos on YouTube where azeotropic mixtures are discussed in details. And in another video I'll try to discuss about methods of how these azeotropes can be separated. Like I said, they cannot be separated by simple distillation, so there must be some techniques to separate them, and we can discuss them in some other time. So thank you.